Today we're going to take a look at some of the best low maintenance plants to grow in your garden. Hi, I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings, and a lot of times people are like, I want to have some plants in my garden, but I just don't know what to grow. What's easy to grow, what's low maintenance, just doesn't take a lot of care. So today we're going to take a look at some annuals, perennials, and shrubs that are low maintenance and would work wonderful in a lot of low maintenance gardens. We're going to start off with the Macedonia Gold Dust. I love gold dust because it's such an easy to grow ground cover annual. It only is about maybe 4 at the most inches tall, and it spreads really nice in the landscape. So if you're looking for a nice ground cover that gives you a pop of color all summer long, gold dust is wonderful for your full sun locations. It's drought tolerant, and as you've seen in many of our videos, we use it all over in the landscapes here at Garden Crossings. Another nice low maintenance annual is Euphorbia. So Euphorbia Diamond Mountain or Diamond Frost. You're going to want to know where you're planting it as to which one you're going to choose. Diamond Mountain is a very large Euphorbia that can get 24 inches tall, where Diamond Frost is a little bit shorter, only getting about 12 to 18 inches tall. It's got a nice airy feel to it, creates a nice mounding habit, and it can be grown in full sun to part shade locations, and even some of your shadier spots you can also use the Euphorbia Diamond series. It also works great in containers as well. If you're looking for an easy annual to grow in containers, Euphorbia makes an excellent filler that just kind of fills in the gaps around your containers. Surefire Begonia is another favorite here at Garden Crossings, and we use it both out in our landscape as well as in containers. Surefire Cherry Cordial is one that we have come to love. Full sun to part sun areas out in the garden. Beautiful glossy black foliage with bright red flowers. Does great by our waterfall garden. We have it lining a lot of our garden beds. It does get pretty big though, so if you're looking for an annual that really fills in and is easy to grow, this Surefire Begonia is a great choice. Another favorite here at Garden Crossings is Verbena Meteor Showers. I love to poke the meteor showers just in kind of random places throughout the garden, as well as using it in mass plantings. It's a great upright thriller, gets about 24 or so inches tall, and the butterflies love Verbena Meteor Showers. They are always like, that's why we plant them, because we raise the butterflies here, and it is a plant that we are always finding our monarch butterflies hanging out on. They're for full sun, they're drought tolerant, and not only do they do great in ground plantings, they also make an excellent thriller in containers. Now we're going to look at low maintenance shrubs for foundation planting. I think we've got 4 different ones we're going to look at here. 2 are flowering varieties and 2 are foliage varieties. The first is Weigela Very Fine Wine. This is a newer variety of Weigela, very compact in size, so perfect for around the foundation of the home. Only 2 to 3 foot tall and 2 to 3 foot wide. It's hardy in zones 4 to 8 and likes to be grown in sun to part sun locations. It's got that deep, dark, near black foliage with those tubular hot pink flowers. The perfect shrub if you are looking to have those hummingbirds and butterflies visit your garden. Also, it's deer resistant, which I think is a plus because so many people are looking for plants that the deer will stay away from. The next variety is a thuya called Tater Tot. This is such a cute little ball of beauty, a nice foliage shrub. It's an arborvitae or thuya, and it only gets 1 to 2 foot tall and 1 to 2 foot wide. So if you're just looking to plant an evergreen that's just this nice little ball, Tater Tot is a perfect selection. We will often plant them underneath of different trees just to give kind of little pokes of evergreen color. Again, planting them by a foundation. They're hardy in zones 3 to 7 and like to be grown in full sun to part sun locations. And the next one we're going to take a look at here are Spirea. So Spirea are a very long blooming shrub, another great selection for foundation planting. And there's actually 2 of them we're going to look at. One is the double play candy corn and the other is double play dolly. So why am I showing you both? Because they're just both uniquely different. The double play candy corn, I love when that one first emerges in the spring. It starts to put on its new foliage and its beautiful shades of orange with burgundy tips on it. It's just, the foliage is fantastic. Midsummer, it gets beautiful pink flowers. So not only is it a shrub grown for its excellent foliage color, but also for its flower color as well. And then the double play dolly. That one has beautiful chartreuse green foliage. So if you're looking for something bright to kind of add a little splash of bright foliage color, double play dolly does just that. And what's unique about double play dolly is that it's got pink flowers, but they're almost pink with tones of purple to them. So it's going to be the most purplish looking blooms on any of the Spirea we carry. Candy corn gets about 2 to 3 foot tall and 2 to 3 foot wide, creating just this nice mound of color. It likes to be grown in sun to part sun locations, and as all our Spirea are deer resistant plants. Great for the pollinators, compact in size, and hardy in zones 3 to 8. Double play dolly also is about 18 to 30 inches tall and wide, again creating just that nice compact size shrub for foundation plantings. Another evergreen is the strong box holly. So if you are somebody that has boxwood maybe in your landscape and have been having issues with boxwood blight, the strong box holly is a great alternative to planting boxwood. It's a compact evergreen, disease resistant, and hardy in zones 5 to 9. It gets about 2 to 3 foot tall and 2 to 3 foot wide, just creating just nice, again, little compact balls of evergreen foliage for the garden or in the landscape. Another great deer resistant option if you are looking for shrubs that the deer tend to stay away from. Now let's take a look at some low maintenance and easy to care perennials. The first are daylilies. I think just about anybody, I believe, can grow a daylily in their garden, and there are so many different varieties of daylilies out there that I think there's surely a color of daylily that's going to work with just about anybody's garden color scheme. Daylilies are hardy in zones 3 to 9, and there's a lot of different flower sizes out there. There's some big flowers, there's some little flowers, there's singles, there's doubles, there's some that have really nice overlapping petals, some that are more strappy. So many different type of flower forms out there in the daylily world. Also, there's a lot of daylilies now that are rebloomers. So, typically some of those older daylilies, they would bloom for a few weeks in the summer. The flowers, daylily, the flowers only last for one day. But if you can get a plant that reblooms and just keeps sending up more and more flowers, that's the way to go, especially if you love the look of daylilies in the garden. Daylilies like to be planted in full sun to part sun locations, and they are a rabbit-resistant perennial. Another great perennial is yarrow, or also known as achillea. They are hardy in zones 4 to 9, so pretty cold tolerant as well as pretty warm tolerant. Depending on the variety that you're looking at, they can get anywhere from 28 to 32, give or take a few inches in size for height. And a lot of times they're just a little bit more narrow, creating a more upright shape of a mound. Yarrow are drought tolerant, so if you have an area in your garden that tends to lack water a little bit, this is going to be more of a good choice for that, as well as they like to be grown in a full sun location. And did I mention that yarrow are another great perennial if you're looking to attract pollinators, such as bees, butterflies, or hummingbirds to the garden. They're also pretty adaptable as far as the type of soil they can be planted in. They can be planted anywhere from clay soil to sandy soil and anything in between. If you give them a light trim after they're done blooming, you may find that they'll reward you with additional blooms throughout the summer. And the next variety of easy to grow, low maintenance perennials are coneflower, also known as echinacea. In the video here, we've got purple emperor, we have the Price is white and lemon yellow, just to show you a few different varieties of coneflowers. That's what I love about coneflowers, is they come in such a wide array of color. There's pinks, there's oranges, there's yellows, there's whites, there's any color in between there, reds, just so many different variations. Also, coneflowers come not only in single flower form, but they come in double flower form as well. So if you're looking for these long blooming perennials, but different colors and different flower forms. Coneflowers, they have a lot to offer. They're hardy in zones 4 to 9, and depending on the variety you're looking at, they can be as compact as 18 inches or as tall as 48 inches. So be sure when you're looking at coneflowers that you are taking in mind the size of the plant you're looking at to make for sure it's the right size for the garden or the location you're looking to plant it in. Coneflowers can be planted in full sun to part sun locations, and they're bee friendly, butterfly friendly, hummingbird friendly, and even in the fall, once those flowers have faded, the songbirds love to sneak the little seeds out of the flower heads. Coneflowers are also a great cut flower, and if you're looking to add natives to your garden, coneflowers are a great native perennial as well. And did I mention they're deer resistant? And the last grouping of plants that are easy to grow, low maintenance, and just add so much interest into the garden, not only throughout the summer, but they really anchor a garden late season in the fall and into the winter, would be ornamental grasses. There are so many different forms of ornamental grasses. We're going to take a look at 3. So the first one is totem pole. I love totem pole because it's got a nice columnar upright habit, and it does. It stays nice and tight until it gets to the top, and then it kind of opens up a little bit. It has really thick blades of grass, which a lot of other ornamental grasses are more thinner and strappier. Totem pole has a nice thick blade, and in the fall it gets the beautiful plumes, which add interest. It's hardy in zones 4 to 9, and it can get up to 6 foot tall at maturity and about 30 inches wide kind of at the base as it's going up. A next ornamental grass, which I think adds not only the beauty of, the grass in the garden, it also is a really unique, cool color. And that is the Pennisetum lemon squeeze. Pennisetum lemon squeeze features chartreuse green foliage, almost a little bit of a yellow tinge to it. So it looks really cool because it really stands out among all the other deeper, darker greens in the garden. So when you're using your foliage as interest, in addition to the flowers, I think that's kind of a nice additive to a plant, is if it has that unique foliage. I don't know if you can see around me, but you're seeing some of the chartreuse greens perhaps, and that's just what you're going to see, those lighter pops of color amongst the darker foliage in the garden. It has nice fluffy plumes late summer. I don't know, my favorite grass I think is the Pennisetum because of the fluffy plumes that it has. And I love ornamental grass because even on the slightest breezy day, you just watch them kind of dance, and they add so much motion into a garden that I think is just kind of mesmerizing, to be honest. And the last ornamental grass, this is a more compact variety of grass, and it's actually for part shade gardens. The 2 grasses we just talked about were for sun, and the feather falls, that is for part shade. And it features beautiful green and white strappy leaves or strappy foliage to it, and it kind of has a up and open feel. So the falls, it falls over. It's hardy in zones 3 to 8 and gets about 12 to 18 inches tall and wide. It's great for part shade locations, and it can be grown not only in the landscape as just kind of a very compact mounding habit grass, it can also be grown in container combinations. And I think in container combinations is where it's really cool, because if you're putting it into a container, it kind of goes up and the foliage just trails over, just creating a really cool looking pop of just foliage color to containers or into landscape designs. It's deer resistant, low maintenance, and just so easy to grow. Hopefully this list here, if you are looking for some annuals, perennials, or shrubs to add into your garden, gives you some good ideas for low maintenance plants that can be used as foundation plantings or out in your gardens. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. Thanks for watching. I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings.